Hi and welcome to SQE Success, your pathway to becoming an English solicitor. In this video, we'll explore two questions involving loan from spouse, a topic in business law under FLK1. Let's dive in. A self-employed plumber was made bankrupt after his business failed. 3 years before the bankruptcy petition, his partner lent him £8,000 from her inheritance. At the time of the loan, they were not married. They agreed orally that he would repay the money when he was financially able. He used the money for personal expenses and to pay off debts. 18 months later, they married. His financial position continued to worsen, and he was eventually declared bankrupt. The wife submits a proof of debt in the bankruptcy for repayment of the £8,000. How will her claim be treated under the Insolvency Act 1986? A. She is an ordinary unsecured creditor because the loan was made before the marriage. B. She is a deferred creditor because the money was used for personal rather than business purposes. C. She is a postponed creditor and will be paid only after all ordinary unsecured creditors have been paid in full. D. She cannot prove for the debt because the loan agreement was oral and had no fixed repayment date. E. She is an ordinary unsecured creditor because the loan was made more than 2 years before the bankruptcy. The best answer is C. A debt owed by a bankrupt to a spouse is a postponed debt under the Insolvency Act 1986. The key point is the creditor's status at the commencement of the bankruptcy, not whether the parties were married when the loan was made. Since the lender was the bankrupt's wife when the bankruptcy began, her claim is postponed until all ordinary unsecured creditors have been paid in full. Question 2. A sole trader was made bankrupt after his business failed. 6 months before the bankruptcy petition, his wife lent him £10,000 under a written loan agreement. The money was used entirely to pay overdue rent on his business workshop. The agreement did not provide for interest or a fixed repayment date. The trustee has realized the bankrupt's assets and is preparing a distribution. Several trade suppliers remain unpaid. The wife submits a proof of debt for the £10,000 and argues that, because the loan was used for business purposes, she should rank alongside the trade creditors. What is the priority of the wife's claim under the Insolvency Act 1986? A. She is an ordinary unsecured creditor because the loan was made under a written agreement and used for business purposes. B. She ranks equally with the trade suppliers because the loan was made before the bankruptcy order. C. She is a preferential creditor because the money was used to pay business rent. D. She is a postponed creditor and will be paid only after all ordinary creditors have been paid in full. E. She is an ordinary unsecured creditor because the loan was made outside the relevant period for a transaction at an undervalue. The best answer is D. A debt owed to a bankrupt spouse is a postponed debt under the Insolvency Act 1986. It does not matter that the loan was made under a written agreement or used for business purposes. The wife can only be paid after all ordinary unsecured creditors, together with any statutory interest due on their claims, have been paid in full. These two questions test the same principle from the Insolvency Act 1986 but change different facts to distract candidates. Case 1 tests whether the timing of the marriage matters. Case 2 tests whether the purpose of the loan matters. In both cases, neither fact changes the outcome. The crucial question is, was the creditor the bankrupt spouse at the commencement of the bankruptcy? If yes, the debt is a postponed debt, regardless of when the loan was made, whether the loan was oral or written, and whether the money was used for personal or business purposes. Targeting a pass in the upcoming SQE1? Knowing the law is one thing, navigating the SQE's tricky logic is another. Our question bank bridges that gap. We offer over 600 rigorous MCQs across FLK1 and FLK2, specifically designed to mirror the actual exam's difficulty. No surprises on exam day, just preparation. Test the quality of our questions today and see the difference for yourself. Start your free mini-mock by scanning the QR code here. Turn your ambition into qualification. Begin your SQE journey to become an English solicitor.